Hello, my name is Lisa and this is the continuation of the colouring in of Johanna Basford's Enchanted Forest. We did that one last time. I did notice the lighting was a little bit, the disclaimer, I did notice the lighting was a little bit dark. It hasn't been the brightest lately, but hopefully I've put my light on full and I've put my little Ujima flip light on. So we might be better, it might be better. Let's hope. That's what we did last time. I then got overexcited. See, this is what happens if I'm, look how it bleeds through, it do, doesn't it? When I'm in a colouring mood, that's it, you've had it. I just want to colour in all the time. So I had a good go at that. And we'll finish this one today. And I also, because overexcited, I started colouring in this page. But what I decided to do was not do the whole thing one colour because it would drive me insane. So I've done that one a sort of autumny feel and this one a sort of nighttime sort of feel. But I've started colouring them and I've had a brilliant time. I'm still using the ones I found in the cupboard, the old dried up ones. I am still using them, but I have added a bit. Look how they've looked. See, that's probably why I've put them to one side. Just see how they've gotten old and they're bleeding a big halo. See that properly? They're bleeding a big halo around them. I'm going to say it. How many minutes in a week? It doesn't matter because it's just for me. But that is most probably why I've put it to one side. That's why they've been put on the naughty step, I think. Should we continue? Yes, we shall. Let's hope that that's where it should be. Now, very cleverly, I've put the pens over there, but because I'm trying to light it a little bit better, a bit of chocolate, because I'm trying to light it a little bit better, I've put the light lower, and I've just nearly hit my head on it, so I've got to like go underneath it, otherwise you get the wiggle, which is really annoying. So yes, I did add the green, but as I was adding the green, it started to run out itself. So I'm going to have to do a little trip to look at my little fingers. I'm going to do a little trip. That's going to annoy me. Little trip to Hobbycraft and get. I need that bright green. I love that bright green. And a mid green. I've got the dark green. And I've got the moss, so I was using the moss. So that's all. It's just two markers that I've used other than me runny out ones. So we're still going strong. These are all runny out ones that I used for the other page. All of them doing really well. I've got to do it again. Get there. I should get this. Let hit me camera. I should get this all organised. I've got to go under. I should get this all organised, but I got overexcited. Really hit the camera. Where's Festa? Right, Festa the cat. He's had a bit of a day. Come down this morning. Two giant poos, not that you want to know, but two giant poos. One in the front room litter. One in Jeff's room's litter. So he's had a party last night. Giant. So I'm confident that his bowels are clean and empty. Good Lord, he can poo. So he should be cut, but he won't. It like wound him up. So he was running about today and he's been in and out, and it's windy. It's a windy woo day today. And he doesn't like, they don't, do they, animals? They don't like the wind. I've got the door open, which don't help. So he's been a bit jumpy around. What should I do? That's a raw sienna. I'm in shot, am I? Say yeah, no, yeah, no, no. Am I? No. So he's running about. He's being a bit frisky. he's been going out the front door, in the back door, out the front door, in the back door. Jeff's gotten ready and gone to work. He's not keen on that. If Jeff gets up at the same time as me, he's not keen on that. It winds him up. If Jeff gets ready to go out to work, it winds him up. So he's had a bit of a morning. I've been sitting in the garden because although it's very windy today, it's pleasant. And it's been a bit chilly, choppers, and it's not really been sitting out weather. So I've taken extreme advantage of it. What's that one? Soft peach. I've taken advantage of it and gone out with a cup of tea. Because my lupins, they're putting on a foot a day. Amazing. Beautiful they are. Colouring up. There was one little flower open and a bee was on it. It was like, I'm having it. There's one flower open. They'll be just covered in bees for the duration. I don't mind it looking a bit sketchy and not completely filled in. I don't mind that look. Oh, my finger's in a terrible state. I do complain about that a lot. Poor Festo, he took a chunk out of my finger. Can you see that? He took a chunk. We were playing. He was under my table and I was throwing my hexagons at him. And just as I picked a hexagon up to fling, because he was watching them, he dabbed like that, caught my finger, got excited and just ripped. So he went in and then, so he's just sliced. He didn't mean it. He didn't mean it, but it got him very excited. Jeff come in because I called him because there was a lot of blood. I thought he'd had half my finger off. And he got a bit fruity round Jeff as well. Oh, not his fault. Say that a lot about you, Fester, don't I? It's not your fault. Anyway, so he's been a little bit excited this morning. I've gone up to look at to check his bowls. I've gone upstairs and he's looked at me through he's done that. You know when animals just do that little peep? He just peeped at me round the door and then I saw him look and then he peeped again and then he looked and then he peeped and I went, what have you done? What have you done? I knew he'd done something and he knew he'd done something. What it was, I'd filled his crunch container up so we can just pour his crunch in, but I hadn't put the lid back on, so he'd had his head in the crunch pot just taking neat raw crunch out, and he knew it was naughty. Bless his heart, he knew he'd been a naughty boy. So he heard me coming upstairs, panicked, looked round the door, looked at what he was doing naughty, looked round the back of the door at me, looked what he was doing. Not going to get a wallop, is he, silly boy? I just put the lid on. It's my fault, left the lid off. So we might have a poo eruption. It's pretty empty, but he's had a lot of crunch. And it's special, incredibly expensive crunch because he has constipation issues. You know, you want to know the internal workings of the cat, don't you? He has constipation issues. So he's got to have crunch. He doesn't like the wet. He's got to have crunch with an easement. So we might be easementing more than we would want because he has had a lot of it. No. Little angel. Yeah, we feed him upstairs. It's a bit of an odd arrangement. Most people don't, do they? But we were, when my beloved Oscar passed, we were going to get another cat, but we knew we had this building work happening. And I'd had Oscar while the kitchen was being done, and we had to live for 6 weeks in the bedroom, and that was hard going for him, hard going for me. So I didn't want a new cat before then, just get it used to life and then have to shut it in the bedroom. Because we always get a cat with a problem. We never just get an animal that's good. We always get the worst one, the one they can't home, or the one with issues. That's us. And we had promised ourselves we weren't going to do that this time. We'd just get an old cat. That was our plan. We were going to get an old cat that just wanted to sit on the settee and be loved. That was our plan. That was the plan. But, oh, my thumb is hurting. Umber. Now that's not telling you much, is it? Should we put it on something and see what it is? What should we put it on? Let's put it on these. Oh, like a dark brownie colour. I don't mind that. That was the plan. We was going to get an old cat. And my daughter, she'd wanted, and son-in-law had wanted a dog for a while. And I said to them, don't get a dog. Little Oscar, who we did get for my daughter, she moved back in again. And we didn't have any dogs at the time. And she said, oh, it doesn't feel like a home without a dog. And I said, I don't want another dog. Our lives are different now. We're in and out. I should get a cat, more independent. Oh, I'll get a cat. I said, I can't. My heart can't go through it. Because we'd just lost our 2 German Shepherds. And when Aziz, the white one, went, I had to do everything for her. I had to help her with her toileting, and I had to clean her up, and we kept her longer than we should. You know, when you do with animals, you know you should let them move on, but you adjust your life. And it wasn't pleasant. It broke my heart when she went. And then we had just the ginger one, her sister, on her own. And she started failing. She went and we took her to the beach, and she toddled into the beach, into the water, had her little paddle, toddled and couldn't get out. She just collapsed sort of in the water. And Jeff picked her up. She was just skin and bone. And everyone on the beach went, oh my God, oh, bless her, bless her. And as we were carrying her out, everyone was sort of saying goodbye to her. It was horrible. And we said, no, come on. We're not going to wait until she's absolutely gone. So we had her put down. She couldn't see. She couldn't really hear anymore. But you know what you're like, we could have had her going for another few months. So, I said to her, I can't do it. I can't do another animal. I'm getting upset now. I can't do another animal. It kills me. It takes every ounce out of me. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I don't want another animal. Oh, but it's not a home without an animal. Oh, God. So I said, all right, then get a cat, but I don't want nothing to do with it. Don't want nothing to do with it. It's yours. So she picked the worst one. I think I've told you before. We picked the worst one. And the actual caption was, a face only its mother could love. That was the cat. That was the selling point for my little Oscar. That was the selling point. A face only his mother could love. Ugliest little thing you've ever seen. No fur on him from the middle of him down. He had a rat tail. He had no fur on his tail. No teeth in his head. He'd never seen nothing like it. And terrified. He'd been feral for 7 years. This old lady had been feeding him for 7 years. And then she'd noticed he weren't coping. They caught him. And they took one look at him and went, oh, poor little love, do we put him down? State of him. And they told me they were right on the cusp of, do we put it down? Do we give it a chance? What do we do? And I think the old lady had given them some money because she couldn't keep him. And they went, all right then. So they took all his teeth out but 3. They'd done what they could with him and said, right, we'll give him a go. Well, he come round, he pulled round. And but nobody wanted him. People would come and look, say, yeah, we'll come and look at him. Took one look at me, I don't want that. So when we turned up, she went, well, he's in that cage, you can go and have a look. They had a beautiful cattery, you can go and have a look, she said. But I took one look at him and my tummy went, didn't I? I went, oh my God, he's my baby. Oh my God, he's mine. That was it. My baby. And we brought him 3 weeks. He was behind the settee. Didn't see him for 3 weeks. Every morning, the bowl of food was empty and the cat litter was full. But we didn't see him. And I just used to sit in there and chat to him. He'd be behind the settee and I'd hear him go all quiet. I'm going to put that to one side. I really quite like that one, actually. And, oh, I've got a little tear in my eye. Then one day, after 3 weeks, he came out and sort of went, it's me. Pushed himself into me and gave me the most weirdest love you've ever seen. And that was it. He were my cat. And he never left my side from that moment on. Followed me everywhere. Everywhere I went, he were next to me. Didn't want to go out. I used to have to rattle my keys at him and go, I'm going out to Asda. That's what I used to do. I used to rattle my keys and go into Asda. And he'd be outside, sat on the chair and go, whoosh, do I come in? And he'd rush in, eat as much crunch as he could. We used to say he used to fill his pockets up. He would eat and eat and eat and eat and eat, and then he'd go to the back door to go out, stop, turn around, come back, eat and eat and eat and eat and get. You could tell he never knew if that was going to be his last meal. And he'd go, yeah, I'm all right, I can go out now. Oh, he was so lovely. So anyway, he died. And we said we'd get another cat. But we knew the build work was on, so we didn't. Just trying to make that a little bit, put it darker at the bottom and lighter at the top. And in the trip, I had said to Soph, don't get a dog while I've got Oscar. He's ill, because he had the diabetes and that. He's ill, he won't take to it, he won't like it. Let him just, he only got a year in him, let him just die peacefully. Then you can do what you like. And to her word, she didn't. But then they got the hankering for a dog. So she did again. She chose this dog off. She did try and go through the proper channels, but they weren't going to give them a dog because they were a young couple and they weren't going to give them a dog. They tried a couple of places, no way. So she went off, is it Facebook or whatever? I don't know. Anyway, a private one. They went and got it. Jeez Christ, you've never seen nothing like it before in your life. Most terrifying dog. I'm going to go round that with a black pen, actually. That's a waterproof Uniball. I quite like these. The most terrifying dog we've ever seen in your life. They went and got it. It got out of the car. My blooming knees buckled. I've never seen nothing so frightening before. Imagine Hounds of the Baskerville. Imagine the hellhound at the end of the... Oh, terrifying. Oh, turns out she's the sweetest lump of mush going. Beautiful dog. Beautiful temperament. Love. Even the vet went, oh, God, I hate dogs like that. Oh, she said, that's going to be a vicious... She didn't like it. That's going to be a vicious dog. That needs muzzling and all the rest of it. Fair enough. Whatever. Now, when she goes to the vet sort of gets older and gives her a kiss. They've all fallen in love with her. She's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful dog. Lovely dog. So when my daughter went to work, she used to come and drop her off, and I'd have her when my daughter was at work. Excuse me, blowing my nose. Then my daughter would pick her up on the way back. So we didn't want a dog, but we ended up with a dog. But she's lovely. She's lovely. So when my neighbour who works at a vet said, we got this dog, we got this cat, you got to take it. It's going to be put down. It's so vicious. No other... They've tried all the other rescue centres. No other rescue centre will take it. The woman is at the end of her tether, and she was blessed. So we went and picked it up. She was cut to shreds. She didn't know what to do with him. And she said, "You got to give it a go. You're his last chance." I said, "Oh God, Christ!" I said, "God," I said, "I'm halfway through. I'm a week off me build. Hold it for a week." She won't. She's had enough. She wants it gone. She's going to have it put down. She wants it gone. She can't bear it any longer. So we went and got this cat. So long and short of it is, that's just my long way of telling you why we feed the cat upstairs. So we set up a room upstairs, his room, so we could shut him in just while the build was finishing, because you're supposed to keep animals in, aren't you, cats and that, when you first got them. And so we could keep a nice eye on him. That wants to be is that lily leaf? That I wanted that to be fruity, but I think that's lily pads, isn't it? Lily pads. So it was all set up upstairs, and it just seemed we were going to have the bowls down here in the front room, but it just seemed to make sense. And of course, in between Sophie getting the dog and Festa coming along, Sophie was pregnant, so it made sense, really, knowing that we had a dog here and a baby, to just keep Festa up, have his bowls upstairs, so he could just go upstairs on our bed, and then in the room next door is his litter tray, his food, and he's not going to be bothered. If he's not that sociable cat, he can just go up there and sort of live up there while the dog's here, or while the child's here, and he can eat in peace. That was the idea, and I think it's a brilliant idea, and it's worked. But it is odd, I suppose, to have your cat, feed your cat upstairs. It just works. I have got a little bowl, because British Shorthairs have, this isn't one of the running out pens, this is a pen I've employed to come, just to add to the greens that I've got. British Shorthairs have bladder issues, so you got to watch their water intake. So when I give him his wet food, he has his wet food, and we pour water in with it as well, so it's like a lake of water. What was it some woman on TikTok said? Gravy, meat flavoured water. It's like sits in a lake. It's like a little island, and it sits in a lake of water. So he's forced 3 times a day. Yes, morning, lunch and tea. 3 times a day he has to drink. And I've got a little ramekin of water in the kitchen for him, because he wouldn't drink out of a bowl. So he's, well, you know, he's all right. Well looked after. Because we did start off, when I was looking after my grandson, when my daughter went back to work part-time, we were having the dog as well. Because the dog and the cat get on fine. Absolutely, you can't believe it. They get on so well. But poor Mabel, who loves my grandson, her little face when he was first born, when she looked in that cot and went, "Oh, it's a baby." I went, "Oh no, darling." Oh, she loves him. But she went into hyper. She's not like it when we go round her house. She's not like it round there in her own house. She's not like it when her mum's here. She's fine. She's chilled out. But when her mum goes, she turns not aggressive, but she turns hyper vigilant with the baby. She goes into major protective mode. She's growling at everything, because I've got like no curtains So you can just see the garden. She's growling at the pigeons. She's barking at the birds. She's just on alert. She's just like this the whole time. She's just tense the whole time. And she was snapping at Festa. Of course, Festa's going, what are you doing snapping at me? So Festa was attacking her because he's an arse. The pod, it just weren't working. It just weren't working. It was dangerous. It was dangerous. Upset my daughter, but it was dangerous. I didn't feel safe. And then the dog's picking up on my nervousness and starting to push me around a bit. It was all getting, it was not fair on me. It was not fair on the dog at all. So we had to stop that, and that's broke my heart a bit. It's broke my heart because I love her. But if I have her just on her own with the cat, she's lovely. She's all chilled out. We have a lovely time. She's all relaxed. She just sits on the settee with the cat. They have a little kissy. It's all calm. It's all lovely. It's all chilled out. No issue. But with the baby here, she's decided I can't look after the baby properly, and it's up to her to look after the baby. So that hasn't worked. But hopefully I'll get to look after her a couple of times just on her own, and we can have snuggles. Hopefully. All of her stuff's still here. All of her toys are here. So she's got all of her toys here. She's got her little bowls, her little feeding bowls are here. Her food. She's got her treats. So everything's here ready. But it don't always work out, does it? I do miss her. But yeah, you wouldn't believe the cat and the dog. I think her owner bred British short hairs. So I think she looked at Festa and went, oh yeah, I know what this is all about. And Festa don't know how to be a cat. He was taken away from his mum very early and hand reared, so he's not got an awful lot of skills. So a normal cat, on meeting a huge dog, would run away, would arch its back and run away. We had Mabel on the lead, had the dog on the lead, full on holding, my daughter holding, so it could have a little sniff of the cat. The cat just walked straight up to it, started right between its legs. Dog's barking and snarling. And the cat's like, hello, what's your problem? So they were fine. Never had a problem. Unless grandson's here, and then Festa starts being stupid, and then the dog won't let the cat come in here. The cat tries to get in here, it goes for it, and it just gets in a right old pickle. It is a shame. You can hear him snoring. He's in his box. He's down. He's in his box. We're all right. So I'm just doing little, because of I pulled this out. This was not in the pot of running out pens, but I thought, can you hear him? Can you hear that noise of him? But I started, it is running out, so I feel legitimate that I can use it because it is running out a bit, this one. So I've only just noticed that these are all the icons. I just thought this was a map. I never registered, because I've got another book of these that I've nearly used up completely, because I colour them in and use them, and I've used them in various scrapbooks and that sort of thing, because I take an awful lot of photos and I print them out and make up physical scrapbooks. Something I have done for, well, the first one I did was when we went to Euro Disney with my daughter when she was about 7. So I've been, she won't thank me saying how old she is. I've been doing them for over 20 years. And I've sort of 2 a year with happenings. And then I used to do a special one for a holiday. So I've got quite a few scrapbooks. But I like it. I like doing it. I like keeping a record. I'm worried that your life slips away and you don't know it otherwise. Don't go deep. But yeah, I like keeping a scrapbook. I'm going to put that in a bit dark. Oh, I like this. Umber. I think I might remember to buy an umber. Because these are old pro markers. I tend to buy the packs of pro markers now. You know, they do colour collections. So this, I haven't had this for a while, this colour. I like it. That and the crimson I'm enjoying again. That's the crimson. But that's the one that's bleeding terrible. So that's probably why that's been discarded. I've got that in there, haven't I? Yeah. God, it does come through. Look, it's totally ruined those two. I mean, you couldn't use them, could you? Look, totally ruined them. But it doesn't matter for these. I wonder if I just colour in the line a little bit, and then it can bleed out, can't it? Of its own. It won't, that one, will it? It doesn't matter if it's a gap round it. I don't mind the bleeding. I think I've got the least animals I've ever had at the moment. I've got Fester the cat. He wasn't called that. He had a very fancy name because he is a descendant from Grand Imperial champions, and he had a very fancy name. But we took one look at him and went, he looks like Fester Adams from the Addams family. So that's why we call him Fester Adams. I've got my son-in-law's lizard. I like lizards. I helped my friend. She had a lizard rescue. And she brought Viv round with a lizard, and I was like, oh, I don't know about it. I don't know. I've never done that kind of thing. That's not more. I'm fluffy animals. I haven't done scaly. But they're enchanting. Bearded dragons are enchanting little creatures. They don't need much. They're lovely. So I fell in love with the one that she brought round. She was only supposed to temporarily home it with me. I fell in love with it, and we ended up adopting it officially. Sophie called that one Captain America. So we had this gorgeous bearded dragon. Absolutely lovely it was. And used to come out and run around on the floor. And it was when we had the dogs and all, and the dogs used to just, I never had them in the same room together, but the dog would put his head over. I put like a little barrier up so it couldn't get in. And it'd go up to the dog, and, you know, lovely, lovely little creature. But he went blind in the end. So I used to have to get the little bugs that you feed him, and I used to tap his nose. That's the little lizard's nose, and I'd go bip bip, and he'd go, and I used to have to hold the bug in my hand, and I'd go tap tap, and he'd open, and I'd put it in, and he'd close. And this is how we did it: tap tap. Ugh, not very nice for a vegetarian to have to do, but I keep the bugs now in very nice enclosure with all twigs and leaves and that, so they have their best life. And I've kept, when he died, I had some of the locusts left over, and I kept them in his Viv for 2 years. No one believes me. No one believes me that I had locusts for 2 years. They're only supposed to last 6 months, but I had them for 2 years. People say, no, it's the same. People are putting different locusts in. No, because when they get big, they have wings on them like a dragonfly. And they've got beautiful patterns. And I sort of learned its pattern. And they used to go up in the twigs of a night, and then I'd tap on. It was always tapping. It's because with hamsters you do a little tap, didn't you? And they respond to it. I used to tap the Viv, and they used to come down the twig, and I'd go in there and clear it up and put the food in, and they would never jump around. They would just sit there quietly. Lawrence and Lucy were their names. Yeah, so I've got Festa, I've got my son-in-law's lizard, because he got a lizard and I used to look after it when they went on holiday. It'd like come for a little spa visit in the Viv. And then, see, I'm just going over and over this. Is it in? Just going over and over it, just darkening it up. With Pro Markers, if you just keep layering them, they get darker. And the actual colour becomes richer the more you go over it. If you go over it once, you sort of get one grade of colour. If you go over again, it sort of enriches it, it deepens it and enriches it. So I might just put a little bit of that umber there just to emphasise it. Oh, it's so nice colouring in. I love it. I used to do it before it was fashionable, and people used to look at me weird. Okay. So the lizard used to come for a spa break, and then my daughter, her friend, moved in for a bit, and she brought her 2 dogs with them. This was ages ago, right before our dog Mabel came, and the dogs didn't like the lizard and would jump up at it and that and what have you. So they said, could you look after the lizard again? It's like, yeah, I'll have the lizard. So I ended up having it for quite a protracted amount of time. And then when she went back to Romania, the lizard went back to him. But my son-in-law, he's grown man, he's busy. That's the trouble with lizards. They live a long time, and your life changes, and you can't always care for them. And this is why there's so many that are up for adoption, because they're very, very easy to look after. But if they have a poo, you've got to clean it out. Otherwise, they just walk through it, and then it's mess and corruption everywhere. And you've got to put fresh food in every day. You know, they're very easy to look. They're the best, easiest pet I have ever looked after. For what you get out of them, they're so easy, but you got to do it every day. You know. Of course, he's busy. My daughter didn't fancy the bugs, so she weren't neglected, but she weren't getting the care she needed at the minute she needed it. You had to wait. It might be a day before we cleaned the poo out and that sort of thing. Absolutely not his fault. He's a busy boy, isn't he? He's earning money for his mortgage and what have you. So I said, could you look after her a bit? And I said, right, that's it. I'm having her. Caused a bit of a kerfuffle, but I said, that's it. No more. I'm having her. She's toed and froed too much. That's it. End of. bit rude of me, a bit wrong of me. I shouldn't have. It was a bit naughty. But I just got a bit fed up. So I got her now. But I know she's not mine. She's his. But I love her. She's lovely. So I've got the cat, I've got the lizard. I haven't got any more hens. Do not get me started on talking with hens. I will bore you to the point where your ears will explode. As I said, I can do 7 hours straight talking about hens without drawing breath. I would not do that to you. Blooming love hens. I love hens. Oh, no. Absolutely love them. No, I'm not talking about hens, are we? Where's the... So I haven't got them anymore. But I did have a fish tank. And I started off in life with a 3-foot fish. I ended up at one point having I'm going like this, you can't see, 4-foot fish tank. Like sort of 3-foot, like massive thing. Massive. But when we had my daughter, I was a little bit concerned because we had it on the floor upstairs because we didn't have we just moved into this house and we hadn't arranged where we were going to put it. And I did keep locking the door so she couldn't get in. But you know what it's like, you turn your back for 2 minutes and she was there sort of leaning in and it frightened the life out of me. I said, oh God, no, it is too big, isn't it? She could have died. She could have fallen in that size of a bath. So I had let the fish run down knowing that we were going to move. So I was able to downsize the fish tank. And we had a lovely corner tank in the corner of the front room, which was really nice. But then the tank got a bit grotty. And we changed the tank again. And then the tank, you know, it was in the wrong place. We had the kitchen done. We were going to have the extension done. We were going to move it. And we sort of, what do we do with the fish tank? What do we do? So I said, right, put it upstairs with the lizard. We'll go down. I hadn't bought any fish for years. And I still had 6 glow lights because they're like bomb proof, aren't they? And 2 little corries in this fish tank. So I said, all I need is a small tank. So I got one of them smaller tanks. And that was good for about 4 years. And then that started to get a bit grotty. We got hard water around here. They get a bit grotty and the filter started playing up and I said, oh. And did I have that? I still had the glow lights. So they must have been 5, 6 years old, the glow lights. And I still had the little corries. So I said, I've got to have a fish tank because I'm not letting them die. So we kept it going, oh, well, I won't get any more fish. I won't get any more fish. Bloody hell, would they die? No, they bloody wouldn't. Years they went on. Years. Crusty old fish. Anyone else would have flushed them down the toilet, not me. So we ended up, this poor little Corrie, sort of this time last year, this poor little Corrie, in the end, was on his own. He must have been about 9 years old. In the end, he was on his own. And he'd been in the corner for a year, sort of looking very unhappy. And I said, oh, he won't last much longer. Oh, the last glow light died and he went, yay! Oh, we had a lovely time. He was happy as anything, flying around. I've never seen him so happy. So I completely changed the tank around to suit his needs, not the upright fish. So I put the lump of wood that was up to give the glow lights plenty of room to swim. I turned it so he had like a cave underneath, and then he had that floor where I'd put the lump of wood, and then so it sort of doubled the size, his area. I was happy. He were running around, we were swimming around. And I said, this blooming thing's never going to die. It will never die. It will just... Then the light on the fish tank went, and I went, oh, I'm not buying a new light. It's a whole new light. They're expensive. This fish is going to die. I'm not doing it. So I ended up, I put like one of these lights up against it. Oh, he was happy. He carried on. It wouldn't die. And then, was it Christmas? Yeah, it was Christmas. Was it? January. When my husband went up for his dad's funeral. Eventually, he died, which was very sad. And then I got a bit sad that I didn't have a fish tank. After all these years of going, I'm not going to have a fish tank anymore. When the fish eventually died, I went, oh. And of course there was loads of snails in there. I was still a bit upset with the snails. I don't really want to lose the poor little snails. I'm going to have to throw them in the bin, and I don't know what to do, and the little snails. So my husband went, oh, go and get another fish tank. It's a perpetual fish tank. So we got a fish tank, but we got a small fish tank. The smallest, like little micro. They say you can keep a better in there. You cannot. It is small. So I've got my snails. They all think I'm mad in the pet shop, don't they? Mad woman. So I keep my snails in there. I love them. Do you know, it's the best thing I've ever done. They don't give you any stress, any bother. And I put a quarter of a fish food pellet tablet in there of a Sunday. And once a month I change the filter media to, wash it. So easy. It's the easiest pet I've ever had. Love it. So now my husband said, you're always going to keep snails now, aren't you? Yeah, I am. not even exotic snails. Right, I think I've done that, look. I think I've done that. So what I'm going to do now is the white. I'm going to go over and do my white highlights. So I think I'm always going to keep snails now. I'm going to be a snail keeper, and it's not even exotic. I went in there and I went, oh, that's a nice snail. What's that? And they said it's called an assassin snail. I said, oh. I said, will that be all right with my snail? No, because we've just said it's an assassin. It eats other snails. I said, come on, I don't want that. Eating my babies. So I've just got the most common snails that most people would squish. That's what I've got. And I love them. Absolutely love them. And they seem to be doing so well. More than happy. So yes, so it's a fish tank of snails. A cat. And a lizard. That's all I've got at the minute. And that's enough because, I've got other things going on in my life, and that's about all I can manage. So what animals have you got? My viewer, what animals have you got? Do you like animals? Not everybody does, do they? I've got a lot of people I know don't like animals. Would know them, but they don't want them. Won't want to live their life. And it is odd, really, when you think of it. Keeping. I think I might. I've got some glitter that I might use on here, round the outside. Is that going to interfere with the white? Should I carry on? I am. I'm going to do the white because if the glitter goes on the white, I don't mind. Yeah, a lot of people, they say, I want to hurt an animal, but I don't want them in my life. It is peculiar having these creatures live with. It's like Fester, the back door's open. He could run away, couldn't he? Over the hills, gone. Never see him again. Hurrah. Go and get another one just like him. 10 a penny. It's not, it's very expensive. Anyway. But they don't go, do they? They come back. It's really weird. Cats are weird. They could just run away, but they don't. No matter how many times you slam the door in their face, they still come back. Then they fester, hey, darling. What's Mummy saying about you? It's like my neighbour who moved, where the new neighbours are giving us their letters. And normally we put them through the door of a new house, but Jeff's on his working week, so she popped round. Fester was going berserk. He was running in and out, in and out. Towel was he was in a Vital strop. Oh, Fester, she said, I went, you were the one who blooming let me have him. Made me have him. But no, he needed another chance. If the vet did say, if I can't bring him round, he's got to be put down. Because you can't rehome something that is that vicious, that he's so unpredictable. But I sort of know when he's going to go now. I know when danger is. Where's me? And I know when the danger is, so. And I love him, so that's that. I'm committed to purgatory, and he's wonderful with the baby. He is wonderful. He comes in here, which I'm not great. I would prefer he didn't, but he comes. If the gate, we've got a gate between here and the kitchen. If the gate's open, he demands to come in. And he plays. He plays with the baby. He don't. He sits and watches. And if the noise gets too much, he says, I can't do it, and he goes out. Doesn't that look good with the white on? Look. Doesn't that look good with the white on? Looks like proper bricks, doesn't it? That good. Yeah, he goes, I ain't staying here with that noise. I'm going out. But he'll like take him toys and try and, like he does with his dog, he goes like that with the toys, and Fester's like, take that away from me. He's shoving that under my nose. He's ever so good. Funny, isn't it? They know, don't they, animals? They know how far they can go, I think. He's never once shown any aggression around the baby at all. Not even with me. He's not been sort of funny. A couple of times he's arched his back and I'm like, whoop. And he's gone straight to the gate. He sort of knows I'll go out then. And when he comes in and out the back door, he's quite wary. If little one is there, he's quite wary. You don't want to be got. And he don't tend to want to stroke him because he saw him catching flies against the window, and that frightened him a little bit. Fester's movements frightened him, so I don't think he's that bothered about it. He's more interested in Fester's toys, his flappy fish. He loves. I have to let him hold his flappy fish sometimes. And Fester sort of looks at me like, I ain't like to touch a baby's toys. Why is it touching mine? He just has a little look. And if he finds a Fester toy, he goes to the gate and he goes like that with it. Yeah. He goes like that and throws it through the gate, which is just so adorable. I think it's good for kids to be around animals. He goes in with the dog. When we take him back, the dog comes, he goes, oh, and lays his head on her. Mm. Right, that's the white done, I think. Have we got a minute just to do a bit of, quick. Let's do it. I'll do it round the edge because I think I'm going to come cropper with the white. So if I just do it round the edge, then we can see it, can't we? and then I can do it privately. I'm going to use Glossy Accents because I'm not good with glue. I'm really not good with glue at all. I'm very cat-handed. Oh, there it comes. Look, see? I'm very cat-handed with glue, and I don't really want to get involved. So I'm just going to use Glossy Accents, which is a good glue. It'll give that little bit of a raised edge to it as well. I can't do PVA, and I should get it all over me. Know your limits. So that's all I'm going to do. And then I've got this is years old. Stamps by Chloe. Sparkalicious Premium Super Sparkly Glitter. They're beautiful. I bought the pot and I just used to look at it because it was just so pretty. But come on, we're going to use it now, people. We're not going to just sit and look at things. We're going to use... Oh, see how old it is, how clumpy. That's not your fault, Chloe. Stamps by Chloe. This is not your fault. This is me. This must be right when you first started, darling. So I'm going to shove it on like that, look, and I'm just going to give it a little press down. This is years and years old. What would I say? At least 8 years old, I'd say. Probably more. Or how are we going to do it? How are we going to do it? This is when it all goes. Oh yeah, we like that. Give it a bit of a flick at the back. All right, Festa. You don't like that sound. Right. Gooey. Oh, I'm going to get this everywhere, aren't I? Doesn't matter. Of course it don't. Yeah, you see, look, it's really clumpy. That's because not her fault. She's done a premium product. It's because it's very, very old. And it's been opened and closed and opened and closed. And I've gone a long way because I've used it, and there's still half a pot left. So we'll put lid on straight away. So let's bring that back. If I do that, isn't that pretty? Oh yeah, we like it. Yes, we do. We're going to do that all the way round, aren't we? Might try and get it. You can even see it. Very sparkly. We're going to do that all the way because I got that idea of it being like a sea around it. Oh, I do like that. Not everyone's cup of tea, is it? But it's mine. Oh, this is going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy this. Right, so I'm going to get on and finish that and do the glitter all the way round because you don't need to see me being that cat-handed, do you? So when we come back to doing a bit more, that'll be all glittered, and if I can lift that bit up. This other bit that I'm doing, I'm going to go all round that in pencil. Because I did say I was going to use pencil, didn't I? And I haven't. I was going to do the whole thing pencil. And I thought if I start doing a little bit pencil, it might make me feel a bit more like using it. So I did start to colour it in with a run out pen, but I think I'm going to go in and see if I can't use. See, I like instant colour, wallop. I'm not keen on subtle with colour, but I might go in with something. Don't ruin it, don't ruin it. You're ruining it. I might just, is that in shot? It is, isn't it? I might just go round and just add a bit of pencil because that looks a bit scrappy as it is. Not that that don't look scrappy. So I'm going to do that, and I might do a blue on the other side. So I'm going to do that first. How many times am I going to say do that? 27. And then we'll come back and I'll put the highlights and maybe some glitter on because I like the glitter. I got some icicles, what they're called, stickles upstairs as well. I might use. I might do glitter on everything. Hey. Oh no, I don't mind that, look. Well, that's quite soothing. Right, that's the plan. Next time I see you for colouring in, that's what we'll be doing. What's the next one to colour in? I don't like doing those ones. The halfy, I find them stressful. So that'll be the next one to colour in. Oh, that's quite nice. Or I could use that as one. Doing it all quietly, aren't I? Because I'm talking to myself. Or I might do that. Or I might have options. I might cut them out and go straight to this one. Options. Right. Talk to you later. Bye.